Yeah, so I'm Bubba. I think most people in this room probably know me as Bubba. So I'm up here for my man Connor Smith right here. People who don't know Connor, will you stand up? So Connor is, I'm going to kind of start off just by telling you a little bit about Connor, and then I'll kind of go through it. So Connor's an insanely confident person, even when sometimes the math doesn't add up. He's a selfless teammate. He's a quiet but natural leader. He's loyal, and he's a family guy. So Connor played center, and he's a little fucker. And most of the guys that play his position weighed 20, 30 pounds more than him. And let's just say, I mean, Connor was never worried about it. He pretty much thought he had everyone on lockdown. He's going up against a USC Eagle, he didn't give a shit. He's like, this guy fucking sucks. He never needed the glory either. Connor left that for guys like Ed Mills, Tim Curtis, Siva, Affley, Jordan Neville, Walt Elder, Connor Weber, or Cody Weber, Kanan Morton, all the other guys that were just way better than Connor. So there's more than that too, but I figured those were the ones that Connor would accept as acceptable. But rugby is chess, right? So you can think your way through the game, and that's kind of why I fell in love with it, because I'm horribly unathletic. But you can get your mind can get you through the game. And Connor saw the game as good as anyone I've ever seen him play. Kenny Scott called him a true tactician of the game, and I couldn't agree more. Sevens was something that Connor really built from the ground up. A couple people have talked about it. Every year it gets brought up, the dark times. We had a couple years of dark times. And this is after decades and decades of being top fucking dog in the Midwest and one of the top dogs in the country. And you're talking about competing against, a bunch of cities that are bigger than us. No city that's smaller than us is as good as we are. If you just look at who we compete with, it's simple population numbers. So Connor in 2014, so basically he built this sevens program up with guys like Kelly Mercer, Kevin Schwartz, Kenny Scott, Marty Cummings, and Joe D'Agostino. I'm sure there's many more, but those are the ones that come to mind. So don't be butthurt if I left you out. In 2014, this is kind of like tells you the kind of person Connor is, kind of teammate he is. 2014, Connor set himself out after 5 or 6 years of building this program up from nothing to being a top national contender against LA, Chicago, New York. Connor set himself out in the national championships and let Walt Elder start at hooker. The guy was a fucking Eagle, so duh, right? But they took 3rd place that summer, and it wasn't even a thought to Connor, because Connor he wants to win. He wants to win. He's not in it for himself. He wants to win, and he wants what's best for the team. Now, there is a limit to Connor's selflessness. So, after this, kind of rise, and a couple people mentioned it, we took 2 teams to Chula Vista, and head coach Scott Adamson kind of reared us there, and it was a rising ship when Scott took over, but Scott took it to the next level. And Scott was an asshole, so people have varying things to say about Scott, but the guy's a fucking great coach. Sorry, no more F-bombs. So we would go to San Diego, and we lose to the eventual national champion by 2 points in the Final Four. It was gut-wrenching. Could have won a national championship, which would have been the first in the club's history. But, so after the thing, we're out at the bars, and I look at Connor and I say, hey, we're both going to get weird tonight, right? Yeah, we are. I said, all right, let's be wingmen. Like, I got to make it back to Chula Vista, which is 45 minutes away, or wherever the hell we were staying, some dungeon in Chula Vista. So, we go out and things, just by myself, and I just look around and go, oh, Jesus Christ, we're going. So Connor was not the best wingman. He basically at some point in the night said, screw this guy, like, he's on his own.
Good job.
But Connor he's a quiet, but he's an incredibly natural leader. He's super smart, but he's like smart in the STEM sense, like science and math. Like nerd shit. His intelligence is not emotional or verbal. Whereas my intelligence lies only in those two fields. So his communication's not always the best. Oftentimes he's at point A, and then he starts talking about point D or E, and he just expects you to connect the fucking dots. So words are hard for him. So that's led to a lot of butting heads with Connor and I over the years. We're like brothers, but it's led to a lot of butting heads. We're like a married couple. Over the years, we've worked it out, but I think therapy could have done us a lot of good. Connor's always led by example, but he would say something when it was needed. He wasn't very verbal, though. He definitely wasn't a pregame speech kind of guy. I got the stories from several different guys. I sent out some, hey, tell me, because I didn't play sevens. I'm the slowest guy ever. So I was like, hey, I need to know about sevens because that's a big part of what Connor did. So I got this back. This might have been 15's story, but whatever. I got it back from 15's guys. So Connor's giving this passionate pregame speech, and he's like, guys, let's fucking go. Come on, let's go. And then at the end he goes, let's go get that W and put it in the W column. And then Kelly Mercer, his now brother-in-law, looks at him and goes, what other column would it go in? So as much as I talk, I'd often use Connor as like my mouthpiece because I knew that no one wanted to hear what I had to say. People had muted me and turned me off like long ago. And I wasn't a good enough player. Like the really good players would just be like, I'm not gonna listen to that guy. But whatever I felt needed to be said, I kind of puppet master Connor, like, hey Connor, I think the team needs to hear this. He wouldn't always listen, but for the most part, it came through in his own filtered, STEM way. But it was never a question of who was going to be the captain of the Blues. Once Scott named him captain, and actually Scott said, hey, you don't have to put this in your speech, but I'm going to do it right now. Scott, at one of these things, was talking to Craig and told Craig, hey, I've been rotating through captains. I haven't found the right guy. Connor's going to be the captain the next season. I don't know if you know this. And Craig, teared up. And he was like, that's fucking awesome. So whether it was for his play, his dedication, or his social prowess, the guy never missed an aftermatch. Everyone respected him, and that's what you need out of a captain. So there's various reasons. Rugby teams are a mosaic of a lot of weird people. A lot of weird people in this group right now. But everyone respected Connor, and it's really, really hard to have that captain that everyone respects, for whatever reason. And Connor was that guy. Connor's super loyal. He always had your back in a fight, on or off the field. I got in both. I used to talk a lot of shit. I like to get under people's skin, on the field especially. Several times on the field, I'd get in a fight, or I wouldn't get in a fight, I would make the guy punch. I think I got 6 or 7 people kicked out of games in my career.
But I knew you were lying.
Now, Pete always did. But Connor would go up and he'd get in the guy's face, he'd get me, and then he'd pull me aside and go, dude, what the fuck is that? Like, you're an idiot. But he'll do anything for the people that are close to him. He always stands by his friends and family, and he's always there for them in good times and bad. So it's probably not my place to say it, but in my eyes, Connor's long been the patriarch of his family. Connor and I both lost our dads not that long ago, kind of close to each other, and we've related on that a lot over the years. But they've gone through a lot of hard times, and he's always there to help out his siblings. He's done a lot of stuff that he never talks about, and I found out from other people for his family. He's helped lead their family through a lot of hard times over the years, especially when Craig passed. We both come from super tight-knit families. My brother Caleb played. Connor played with his brother Kyle. Molly's married to Kelly, the MC tonight.
What?
His sister. Yeah, for those that don't know, the Blues is just a big incestual fuck fest. sisters are really good friends. I mean, it just goes on and on, right? So, from what I see, Connor's, he's definitely the patriarch of the family. He takes care of everyone. And now, of course, he has his own family. And, he's an amazing father. To Wolf, dedicated dad. I mean, I love watching him be around Wolf. Almost done. Changes over the years. On the field, Connor could always hit a line, like right when he came out of K-State. The guy could hit a line like a bat out of hell. But at the beginning, he didn't know how to catch the ball. So he would always jump when he was about to catch the ball. And finally, I just pulled him aside and I was like, hey, guy, like, you're way better than me. You're like, don't jump. And then maybe you can catch the fucking ball. So I just want to take some credit for this night, because without that, he'd probably be the all-time leader in knock-ons against St. Louis history. So off the field, Connor's changed a lot. Also, on the field and off the field, we've watched each other grow up for 20 years. Back in the day, this guy would write checks at bars, at grocery stores, and he was always wearing the same pair of just disgusting pleated khaki pants. I don't know how any girls ever talked to him. It was insane. They were like his rockers pants, I'm pretty sure. The guy hated live music. I don't think he had any idea what Magic Fungi was. But now, he's an adult. Glad someone got that. He's an adult. He's got a great job. He's an amazing father, brother, son, uncle. And I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of who you are. And I know your dad is too.
Yeah.
So in closing, I'm going to tell this one story. Well, it hasn't been that long. So at a sevens tournament one time, this story encapsulates Connor's views on the Blues and why he's a Hall of Famer. So I'm sure this story has been just completely changed through the lenses of all of our egos, but this is the way I choose to believe it. He walks by some guy on some team, and the guy goes, God, I hate the Blues. All they do is win these tournaments and party, and their chicks are fucking hot. Which I agree with. Look around. And no one loved that quote. Connor was the one who heard it, and no one loved that. By the way, I cleaned that up. There's actually more to that quote, but I cleaned it up. No one loved that quote more than Connor, because it encompasses the Blues and what so many of us here love about the club. We like to win at a high level, we like to party, but really what that means, it's the brotherhood. That's why we're all here. Connor is like a brother to me. We've been everywhere together. Dallas, Denver, San Diego, Charlotte, Goldie, for those who remember. Chicago, St. Louis, Sun Valley, Minneapolis, Utah, Arkansas trips, David Icke. Vegas, Goat Farm in Tamales, California, where I drug him to what we'll call a spiritual retreat, which he was incredibly uncomfortable with. But you know what he said? He said, some of my friends asked me, why did you come to this thing like it's such a weird thing? And he goes, well, Bubba's never led me in the wrong direction. So, guys, in my wedding, he's soon to be the godfather to Katie and I's daughter, Genevieve. So, to Connor, also known as Condor Smith, Skip Captain, one of my closest friends, one of the youngest guys ever to be inducted in the Blues Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Connor Skip Smith.
Slaughter and big size 8-2 font up here with 38 pages. I think I've got just 4 scrolls at best. I'm going to start off with acknowledgments to all the coaches who got me here with the Blues. Joe Friedkin, he taught me all the fundamentals of the game. Absolutely started my career there. Bob Telfer, Scott Adamson, Asiri Rugby. Schmatter, Marcus, and Graham, particularly on the sevens. 15 sounds a little much. I suppose I'll count Lenny. People all know him by that name. It's Pete Winklebauer, but Lenny's more appropriate, especially tonight for whatever it's. He was the first one to get me to understand that you're actually playing against a defense and you're not just running offensive plays. You actually look your head up and you look where the defense has moved and you hit the holes between. You let your fly half find the ball in your hands. So Kim to open that for me. Players, Bubba, probably one of the few with me for the entire ride of my collegiate career, Blues career. PK taught me what a player leader does on and off the field. Taught me that yoga isn't just for beta males. Money for being a hell of a landlord and much more. Sharky Stop, not sure why, but just feel I gotta mention them together because they were only there for like, what, 3 years? You guys bail on me? Cummings brothers, Marty and Casey, they're probably sharing a lot of my exact timeline and how the career went from the junior blues all the way through the blues in both 7s and 15s programs. Matt Gunner, not here today. He texted me, he wanted to be here. I don't know how to describe Gunner other than just straight and aggressive, and he will absolutely fuck you up. Like, it doesn't matter if that's even just verbal. He will fuck you up. He taught me a lot. He's like a big brother. The Sinners: Jack Vogt, Cody Weber, and Tim Curtis. We were interchangeable. We were a wall. Honestly, we shut everybody down. Didn't matter who went in. We shut down every offensive attack there was. The core 7 side that brought us through the drinking days on Tuesdays and Thursdays to an actual program. Tim Curtis, Kenny Scott, Kelly Mercer, and Kevin Schwartz. I'm sure there's a couple more of you. Marty, you're in there, but you're always injured. Lastly, all my high school boys in the back. I love you all. I really appreciate you all coming out. There's even some junior blues in there too. I appreciate the honor bestowed upon me by all the current Hall of Fame members. Thank you, Bubba, for the introduction. You're truly my best friend, a mentor. Using that one lightly because that only happens in a couple areas. But you're a closer brother. I love you and everything you've done for me on and off the field. And I'm very happy to be the godfather to your daughter, even though you only insinuated that I was so, you never actually asked me. You just gave me a date and told me to show up and be available. I got the screenshots. I started with the blues. You've been there the whole time I started with the blues, and you're still there today. I imagine the future will be like the Franklin and Cram that they are today. I'll let each of you figure out who's who. One of them's constantly in the fold actually doing things, the other one's constantly in the fold just talking. To the blues. There's 3 main points I want to hit on legacy. There's blues family, there's legacy. Mix that up. The first one to go was legacy here. So the blues is starting on a couple consistent paths that are starting to bear fruit. We must continue the support of those roots and who we are. It started with Boucher, I believe, being the first junior blue to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah!
So now you got 2. So now we're starting on something. It starts with evaluating your roots, and they start down at the youth level. And we've got to embrace that and do everything we can. And that leads to the Heartland Youth Program that is today. As long as we support that Heartland Youth Program, we're going to get consistent Hall of Fame members that come to the Blues. That is where we've got to focus our time and effort. To clumpers and everybody who does all that. The next legacy is that there's now 2 sets of a father-son set in the Hall of Fame. Leo and Siva beat us here, but my dad himself. So Leo and Siva first. So if any of you have sons, or I guess these days daughters too, try to make Try to do what you can to get them in the Heartland Youth Program. Try to get them to come up through the Blues program. And we're just going to continue that same grassroots. Not just family, but also through your support of the local teams. I'm going to start reading again. Back to Leo and Siva. My dad would be very happy to be following him as well. He adored Leo. I thought he was the best man that wore the uniform, even though he was LT grade and kind of messed up a few people along the way of his playing career. My dad, we all know, deserved to be here with me, us, today, but there's no other way I personally could have made him more athletically proud than this moment here. It started in my earliest days of rugby, showing up to the zoo, well I guess it's now the zoo, over there at 63rd Street, and I was selling hot dogs with Niles on the sideline. I still don't know why, but you always try to say I was stealing dollars out of the cash box. I didn't get it. It didn't make sense to me. I stole a hot dog or two, but that or playing pass with the ball with Aaron Stockard. Chris is here somewhere, and Kathy as well. But we grew up watching the old boys play. And out here today, I see so many of his best friends. And it just speaks to the Blues family and the legacy. And it's just crazy to me how we're essentially on the same platform, but it breaks my heart that he's not here. That said, I love seeing you all. That helps kind of ease it at the same time. My dad was the one who introduced me. He dropped me off. Same thing as who said it? Someone said it earlier, I can't remember. But 14 years old, got dropped off at the Blues practice. Just told to go out there and play. There was Coach Fredkin, ready to lead me on my way. Taught me all the fundamentals I need to know, and that was that. The only thing that can make this even stronger is if Wolf is to be the next member in the legacy of. You don't know Wolf was my son. He was supposed to be here for that little part, and I was going to bring him up here, but yeah, someone put me to sleep. I won't talk about him. Last is family, real family. And without family, none of this is possible. Sarah and I, we've had trouble throughout our relationships, but who doesn't? But she's obviously the rock to my life, and that's why she's still here today, and she supported me the whole way. With that, I'm just going to go 10 names. We've got Wolf, John, my mom, Rob, Cindy. Well, Cindy's not here anymore. She had to take the boy home. Where am I? Cindy, Whitney, Molly, and Kyle. You all have been there for me in one way or another, but it's truly special, and you're all here today. So much are we a Blues family that we already mentioned that Mary, even Molly decided to marry with him. Mary is one Kelly Mercer. And there's rumor on the street that my other sister might be dating Chad. So, we are Blues through and through, apparently. To my Blues career and advice to younger ones. I started playing on the Blues loosely through the sevens program in 2004, 3 and 4. I was just going to Tuesday and Thursday practices, fucking around on the side, only hoping for Franklin and Pete's cooler full of beer. I was underage. I was just like, all right, man, you're gonna hook me up. I don't have enough money. Let's get drunk. And then I'd just be hoping to leave by 8:15 to get to the Brookside before they started carding. Luckily, PK hated that we were just touch sevens players and drinking. He started KC United and lit the fire under the rest of the sevens program that forced them to advance us. Thank you, PK. From that moment on, he had to play that season because he already started the team. But we went on to sit there and lose every single. Then we started in the region. We lost just about every single game, nearly last place each and every single time. This was for about 2 years. Then on the third year, we beat a couple teams. Now it's fourth or fifth place we were playing for. Then the next year, now it's third and fourth. Then the next year, I think this was in Houston in 2010, I'll say, we beat Aspen with Carl Lowndes. We kicked the shit out, dude. It was good. We knew we finally had something. Everyone in the Blues program knew we had something. The ship had turned, it was heading right, and by the end of 2014, we were second in the nation. So, congrats to all those guys who played that. Similarly, on the 15 side, it was the same thing. I mean, you guys really made me step up to the plate here. Not that it was just me that did it, but hey. Really to that 2007, 2008, 2019, they got touched on here, but it doesn't do it justice. The club was in dire straits. We were, the old guard had just pushed, didn't recruit. They were just kicking ass out there. Age got them, but they didn't recruit. And we were struggling. I came to a game in 2003 or 4 when I was home from college, and we were playing Ombath as the super elite team we were. We got our asses kicked 87-6. I sat there and looked up to Bubba and I was like, Bubba, we're gonna play for these guys? I was like, luckily I got the legacy blood in me, so I don't have a choice. But like, Bubba, go elsewhere, dude. So that's really the career. Oh, to the team. Grasp enjoy it. Don't miss a training, don't miss a game. Every single moment is fleeting. Bubba and I had this grandiose plan where we'd come into the team, you start on the B side, you work your way up, you bust your ass, you're A side player, you ride the A side career, but then you cycle down. You cycle down on the B side and you mentor the new guys coming up, so that's a circular cycle. I guess that's the definition of cycle if you're done there. But to that point, it got stolen from me. I had no idea I was risking any injuries or anything like that. I actually escaped rugby without ever going under the knife, and stenosis in my neck knocked me out. I looked at the doctor, I was going to get steroids to be back on the field, and he goes, rugby players still don't get paid, right? I was like, no. And he's like, you pay to play? Yeah. He goes, why don't you hang it up, bud? No one's ever told me that. No one ever put that one in my thoughts. So, rather than get injected in my neck, I decided to call it a career. But the point is that it's fleeting. And you better enjoy every single moment and take advantage of it. Because you do not know when it's being taken from you. Because I had no signs. So, with that, I'm going to end on two sign-offs for us. The first one is a tribute to my dad. So let's do an all blue. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All blue. The last one for me, and if you're not from here, don't say blues on this. This is silent blue on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Call at the bar. You can come up until 10:15 to get one more drink.
And on that note, I'm going to usher everybody to the bar. Thank you all for coming so much. Please head to the backdrop of the Hall of Fame curtain.